Well, welcome. Today I'm going to be talking with Amerika Jones here, and she's going to tell us a story of how she has seen where God's kingdom is breaking in. Welcome, Amerika. Thanks for joining me and all those who are going to hear this story. I'm excited. So I first came to understand what was going on, I think, a bit when you were posting some stuff online. And so maybe just give some background to this kingdom story, this kingdom breaking in, and what it's all about.
Yeah, so lately with staying at home because of all these COVID restrictions, I've kind of had time to dive into my own hobbies and kind of figuring out, what do I love to do with my free time by myself. I find a lot of creativity when I bake and when I cook, and so that became kind of a more prevalent thing that I was doing. And we have a business, and my mom was like, hey, how about you start selling some goodies? And a lot of people were buying stuff, and I was just having a fun time at home. It made staying home seem a little better and more enjoyable, being able to bake things and do things for people. And then more disaster struck, and the fires started being a very huge thing with lots of families. And then especially when the Bordeaux fires hit, I had a lot of friends living in that area that kind of reached out to me and were like, hey, can we stay at your house? That didn't end up happening, but one of my friends her house was almost hit, and it was really scary for her. So
So these were in the fires, and everyone was getting evacuated. Yes.
Yes, their grass is not green anymore. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
But I was like, maybe let's use this as an opportunity to kind of sell some baked goods and see if we can get some money fundraised out of that to help one family who lost their house in that fire. And at first I was really wanting to just promote the business and, hey, I'm at home all the time. I have food to bake and I want to sell it and make some of my own profit. And then I realized that's not really what the issue is anymore. I don't need all this money coming just to me, but rather doing things that I enjoy, not to benefit myself, but to benefit others. And a lot of people understood that because they wanted to help those in need at that time, but they didn't really know how to. And so that kind of gave them a basis for, hey, you know what, I could enter this raffle and possibly give enough money for those who need it.
What I loved when I first came across that was that we're all quarantined or stuck at home, and a lot of things are available to us. And at times that might be or seem or be isolating, but to be able to put some of your gifts and talents at work and to help others, that was just inspiring for me to see that.
Thank you.
In regards to that fundraiser, I mean, money was raised and able to give that to those who were needing help and assistance from their, whether they lost property or home and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there was one family that in the Bordeaux fire, there was one house that burned down and they lost almost everything. And so they were raising money, but that limit, like they fundraised all that money in about 2 days because people were really out there wanting to help. But this fundraiser was going about for a month long. And so it was donated to just the Red Cross, and it was to the disaster relief and for the Washington fire. So it's going directly to that. And it looked like it was going to head towards Whitman County, which still had some destruction issues and that needed the most support at the moment.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. So just as you reflect on that time, what did you feel? What came over you in those times as you reflect on that?
Just because of the whole world right now and everything that's going on, I've just kind of decided to kind of look at the bigger picture rather than all the small issues that I have going on right now, because that is not going to be a big deal in the long run. These little issues that I have going on, or these problems or these things that I want, that is not what people need right now. And I know that everybody has a talent or something they're good at, and using that talent or hobby that you're good at to benefit others will make you feel really good about yourself. And I cherish that feeling more than the money that I would have gotten from that raffle.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, um, has it helped in just maybe the isolation you have felt in those times where you're not able to go out and do the things that a year ago you were? And I mean, has that helped a bit?
Yeah, it has. It's definitely helped, because at the beginning of this isolation, I'm like, I don't know how long this is going to go on. I don't know if I'm going to get to see people in a long time. But although I'm not seeing these people in person, I know that, oh, they're communicating with me, they want to help. And I just know, like, if I were ever in a situation like that, there are people that would help me too. And it's reassuring knowing that although we're all far apart right now, I think that most of us are more unified than ever.
Yeah. Well, there isn't much more than some really good baked desserts that will bring people together.
Yeah.
So, no, I love it, and I'm so blessed to have heard this story, to know you, and to encourage you in what you're doing. Again, this is about where do we see God's kingdom breaking in, even when it looks like there's just an enormous amount of disaster that we look out there, especially with the fires, or I mean, just the visual of seeing things burnt and gone, things that used to stand no longer are there. It's just ash and rubble. But to be able to recognize an invitation in there and pursue and partner with what God is already doing. Well, thank you for sharing your story, Amerika, and with the rest of us, and hearing kingdom stories. When we get to share and hear kingdom stories, it's inspiring, it's encouraging. And so I really encourage all of us, as we recognize where God's kingdom is breaking in, share that story, inspire and encourage those around you, and the rest of us to know what God is doing, even when we aren't necessarily directly a part of it. In relationship with others, we see how God's working in and around us. So thanks for being with us.